resources. The three of us went out to look for Forrest. Hours passed before we eventually did. He was lying down on the ground in the middle of the path. It looked as if he was trying to escape the kid who stayed. Why didn't he just stay in the bush? I tried to touch him, but nothing happened. Raki and Sai tried to pick him up so they could bring him to the medics of our time. Told them there was no point. This was before Raki knew of what I was, before my wife died. To save you a long story, I ended up showing Raki what I was, what I could do. We ended up having to bring Forrest home, and Kira, there was no stopping her. She was put into a full panic, crying, screaming, even a few swings were taken at me. My son died at the hands of this bully. Kira was not the same after that, and what she did proved she was nowhere near the same person she once was. Alpha Radiator. There's a good chance I die here. Bro, yeah, no, never mind. I already knew that. I'm just gonna have to sit here and absolutely hope I get lucky. A 50-50 is so brutal. I'm glad I never experienced it up to this point. Thank God. Vincent. After the funeral, Kira went missing. I was scared out of my mind, hoping she did not do what I thought she did and ended her own life. She loved this child of ours, and he meant the world to her. I knew she wouldn't be able to handle this new truth. Then one day she came back home. She came back with such a happy smile on her face, a wonderful smile. Some new clothes on her back, and my God, it was beautiful. I was happy she was alive and well, still. Days later, the local guards came in and reported on a body found at the bottom of a well, a boy who seemingly fell in and drowned. They asked if we knew anything. I told them I did not, and Kira just stood there in silence. I had to tell the guards she hasn't been feeling too well ever since our son died. They gave their condolences and soon left. In my heart, I knew that was the boy. We've been through a lot together. I decided to pretend as if it wasn't him. I'd rather lie to myself than watch my wife die. Vinny Vine. I'm just gonna swing for the fence after this, and then anyone that dies I can revive and they'll come back with full MP. That's pretty much the best I can do at this point. Okay, well now I'm getting a little worried because everyone's pretty close to death at the same time. Okay. Thankfully Cassidy's pretty fast, so... Fine. I'm gonna do something stupid here, but... Jesus Christ. It was a gamble that almost didn't pay off. Video. I forgot completely I had Goldie in the party. I forgot I had more party members. It doesn't matter though, because Goldie doesn't have any MP. Months pass, and eventually the kid's father finds out through a witness. Instead of going to the guards, knowing they were unable to prove a thing, he set out to find his own justice. This choice was the worst he could have ever made. If you've heard the same story from my wife, and yes, I do know when someone visits her, then you know what turned out of it. He kills my wife, and through some sort of miracle, I learned to kill with a healing touch. Her death brought Araki over the edge. He became angry, drunk, and always filled with so much malice. So angry that he turned to Sai, blaming him for not protecting Forest. Her death brought Araki to a new low, but it gave him a new purpose. He asked me for a blood sample so he could do a ritual. Knowing if I said no that he would get upset and take his anger out on Sai again, I said yes. Taking a bowl's worth of my blood, he left. He went into his basement and was there for what I assumed to be weeks, months even. It's probably the best time Sai had since Kira died. Of course, he was also living with me at the time too. Then one day, seemingly out of nowhere, Araki gets me and Sai to come into the basement. I'm so happy Kira wasn't there to see what her brother became, what happened of everyone. I couldn't tell her the truth of what happened when she woke up. Kojima. Looks oddly familiar. That was a good hit. Need more of those and less of those fucking misses. So it's almost a 50% chance of missing. Like, it's just, it blows my mind. My basic attacks will almost always hit whenever I use abilities. That's annoying. Okay. Probably not, yeah. Minus the one miss at the front and the like 100 damage I did at the end, that was actually a pretty good volley. Can I use items? Another one down. Skip more. Araki found a way to revive Kira using my blood, but he needed something to wake her up. In essence, a collection of dust holding one's soul, just like the ones you encounter on your journey. I tried to stop him, and I didn't want the boy from following in. I told Sai to stay out. I knew the danger that his father has become, but he wouldn't listen. He held on to his hope that his father would love him like he used to, and thanks to this hope of his, he paid the price. Couldn't let Araki finish this ritual, just for his sister, my wife, to see what we've all become. I killed him. I killed him not to end the pain he inflicted on others, not to stop a lunatic. I killed him because I knew he was suffering. I knew that the reason why he was doing this was to make up for what he lost. I knew that feeling all too well. Forrest, dead by the hands of a bully. Kira, dead by the hands of of her own. Sai, dead by the hands of his father. Araki, dead because of me. All of them, ripples in the splash, created by a choice of my own. Had I kept him home that day, maybe he would have lived. Or maybe his death would have come later. My family was ruined. I waited years before I revived her, before I used Sai to wake her up. After reviving her, I used the bones of my son, the bones of Sai, and the regeneration slime of Kira to form what you all know as Sirif. I tried to revive the separate, but nothing ever worked. The only choice was to fuse them together as one being. At least Forrest got what he wanted, to be with Sai forever. Personalities of a body not belong to them is what they are, immortal to the very end. Just as I am, all of them unable to remember the truth of what happened. Only I live with this truth. Well, I guess not anymore. Dramos. I still can't use fucking my attacks with Michael. Of course, and that passes, but Mike's too scared. So I gotta wait for that to pass. Well, at least Grant used World Destroyer again. Hit. Everyone's back to normal. I was really hoping that'd be the last fight. Alright. I know you've been waiting for the moment to finally see me for a while, but I'm just a man, not a god, a demon, or even a spectacular being. I'm still the same man who showed you this tower long, long ago. Why you make me fight these creatures? To ensure that you are strong enough to handle the truth of who I am. As Reith told you, you are the last of the janitors. There will be no more need of them, for your brother is the one destined to kill the Iron Angel. Shouldn't you be testing him? I know your brother is strong enough, but are you? This tower gives me immortality, then what do I need strength for? You may be immortal, but you are still able to face many fates than normal humans face, this time to a worse extent. A human, they'll die before they hit the lava. They'll drown and die before they sink to the bottom of the deepest oceans. They'll suffocate in the vacuum of space. But you'll feel your skin melt. You'll live forever at the bottom and able to move. You'll live as a space rock for all eternity, only able to think. This test, this trial, is to ensure you know how to face beings just as strong as you. They are all janitors like you, and each one of them made the same mistake of pushing too far, relying too much on their immortality. Originally, this test did not exist, but they wanted to create it to ensure no one else had to suffer like they did and are. Then they asked if I could evolve myself too, truly make sure if they were ready. They did all of this for us. Many janitors came after they did, and they tried to do it on their lonesome, but one word could not change their minds of many. It seems heroic. Janitors are given complete freedom to do as they will, but most live a century filled with pleasure and power before they realize there's much more to life than control. They stop feeling the need to feed their desires. Some learn their true purpose before the century is up, but honestly, I find the ones that are greedy and sinful to be the best ones of our ranks. It reminds me that no matter how bad someone might be, if they wish to, they can be better. And that one thing makes me much happier to live forever. I can live this eternal life knowing what I'm protecting is worth it. I want to be like that too. I know you do. We all want it. The feeling of goodness. No matter how much you feed your desires, there's always a small piece inside you that tells you, that commands you, to look for that goodness. Are you ready, Michael? Yes, Troy, I am. Let me test you one final time. Troy emerged. This is a shitty setup for this fight too, but I still have revives, so at least there's that. Interesting. I don't like having multiple party members that close to death. I'd rather they just be dead, because it kind of makes things easier. What a odd encounter. I'm gonna both get them to use the item in case that happens. Ah, you bitch. Such a weird fight. It's like all around status effects. I don't even know if there's really a point to actually trying to attack. I should probably just be guarding, right? Did I waste it? I did. As if it lets you double use it. That's kind of weird. Come on, hit him. What do I do? I need to get lucky here. Come on. Big damage, please. Fuck me, man. Thank God. That was like the toughest fight in the game. Definitely the toughest fight in the game. Yeah, that was incredibly hard. Who was it that... Greetings, player. There's nothing left for me to give you. You've completed all, but I assume you wonder why I'm here. Just thank you one final time. So thank you, player, for all the time spent in my silly little game. Post-game will be replayable for you if you wish to play. There'll be no limits for you this time, and maybe one day I will update the game with a new game plus. If I can figure it out, that is. Anyways, thanks. Thank you, player, again, and farewell. 20 million gold. You gotta love it. I don't know if I gave anything to Carlisle. Well, obviously that was the final end. Oh, he's dead. We unfortunately didn't find everyone, but actually I just realized too, Otto's not in our party. So nothing for me out here, nothing I don't have right here with all the people that matter most to me. Wonder what this one will say. Care to dance? Sure. Yeah, that's crazy. Alright, let's go save it and my final thoughts, and that'll be that. So yeah, I mean, wow. Troy the Soldier. That was a ride. That was definitely a ride. Early game, like part 1, the combat was absolutely absolutely horrendous in terms of just like how difficult it was. And I mean, yeah, it's early game, so it's kind of to be expected in some degree, but I think the takeaway from that is just improper balancing. Either make the enemies weaker, which I feel like is the best bet, or make the characters a little bit stronger. Experience, I don't know what's going on with that. Obviously, we didn't get experience that entire game, so we were just permanently level 10. I don't know if that was something that was meant to be and then just not implemented afterwards or what, but yeah. Characters overall were pretty decent. I like the range of skills and stuff that we had here, right? It was kind of a nice little mix. I feel like fighting, though, the combat, to like retouch on that though too, not only was it kind of unbalanced, like part 1 or whatever you want to call it, at the beginning it was just tough. 2, 3, 4, all the way up to here was decent, but if you got hit with a lot of status effects, that could be hell of annoying. The enemies didn't ever drop like useful items. They only dropped basically money and stuff that you could sell. So that kind of made things a little bit tougher. And then especially when it came down to crunch times in certain maps, where the layouts were just kind of weird, where there wasn't always a shop, wasn't always a save point. It made those areas that much more, you'd have to be that extra cautious. But I don't think it was anything hindering, obviously. Like, it wasn't like I died and lost 20 minutes, but caves was a little annoying with the claymators, I guess they're called, in the little maze there, but that was nothing too major. What was after that? Lawn, I believe it was. No, it was the machine inside the machine loop. That was not really annoying. It was just a big trial and error thing, but I could see people not liking that. Music was great. Story was decent. I was expecting to fight the Iron Angel, so it was kind of a anticlimactic thing where they built this all up and then just, it didn't drop. And especially like even after the fact, when we had that little like the secret bosses there, the extra content, whatever you want to call it, like I thought for sure we were building up to fight the a big bad there, and it just never happened. And I feel like certain things just don't complement themselves well in this game. So for example, early stores you've seen like HP up and MP up, and then you didn't see it in like the next area stores, but you would see it in the stores after that. It was kind of weird. Certain items and stuff too, little weird things like that, where it was like you would see the items there, not here, skills and stuff and whatnot. Obviously there is much more to this game. Well, I don't want to say much more, I'm not sure how much more specifically, but there's obviously a little more to this game than what I showed. We missed at least 2 party members for sure that we missed. I never used any of the other party members except for the first 3 that we had, Michael, Cassidy, and Grunt. They were pretty much good enough to carry it on, and even with the lack of leveling, I don't feel like that's another thing too. Like the combat kind of stayed consistent when you got the better gear, right? And I think the only time I really did any major upgrades was that one point. I think it was caves, where I massively increased everyone's health and MP to kind of level everyone out. But besides that, yeah, I would definitely recommend this game. It was actually pretty fun. It's a hurdle to get by the first area, definitely so. And I mean, like, we got our ass kicked by Ron that first time, so I just eventually just passed him up, and apparently just passed him in general, right? But overall, I mean, like, getting by the first part there, it wasn't bad. Definitely wasn't bad. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I would definitely recommend it to anyone, and yeah, that's gonna be that. I'm most likely still not gonna do Diablo 1. Basically, I had a similar issue for D1 as I did with Troy the Soldier, where it was I just couldn't really size the screen properly and stuff. However, with Troy, the difference being is this is all just, you know, simple inputs, whereas with Diablo it's actually like I would have to click on certain parts in the map, and it's like yeah, it's, if you know Diablo, you know that having a small window is just not something you can run with. So maybe I'll play it on my own time, but I probably won't record it. So next up after this is definitely going to be Far Cry 3. Jumping back to the Far Cry series, I want to continue on with that. And then, yeah, we'll see. I'll do Far Cry 3, and then I'll probably jump to Blood Dragon next. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, and then maybe the next Far Cry in the series there, if nothing else pops up on the way. I did finish streaming Diablo 4. This is going to be way, like, maybe 3 weeks after the fact, but I did finish streaming Diablo 4, so streaming I'm going to return to Destroy All Humans 2, so that should be well up on its way by the time you see this. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So shout out to Troy the Soldier. I would definitely recommend trying it, at least. Like I said, it's a fun little game. And yeah, that's it for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and say comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe and share, it really helps me out. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.